Hi, my name is Maya Rubin, and today I will be performing Lab 5. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull my table together and put on my set of gloves. 1 and 2. So I got my glove set and ready, and I'll start cleaning my utensils now. Go ahead and take that off, and I'm going to clean my weight tray. Make sure it's nice and clean back in the front. I'm going to go ahead and let that sit aside to air dry. I'm going to take my spatula and wipe that down. Make sure that's nice and clean as well. And set that aside to air dry. I'm going to take my alcohol prep pad and clean my weighting scale. Make sure I get on the sides as well. I want to make sure there's no excess powder there from my last weighing. And I'm going to set that aside to air dry as well. Okay. For these measurements, I will be using my powder here, my No API powder. I'm going to make sure that's dry. While that's drying, I'm going to turn it on here and make sure I perform the tar adjustment. I'm going to set my weight boat right here, and I'm going to press T, make sure it's at a 0 so it can get the adjustment of that weighting boat. I'm going to make sure I do that one more time, make sure that it's accurate. Yep, it is accurate, great. So now that it says 0, we're going to go ahead and do our first measurement. We're going to go ahead and do 5 grams. The maximum that we can do is 5.5, and the minimum grams that we can do is 4.5. So I'm going to open my powder here. And I'm going to set it next to my utensils here so I can avoid spills. And we're going to get started. Alright, we're doing good. We're starting at 1. Got our way up to 2. Got our way up to 3. Okay, now I'm going to start taking little smaller measurements so I can make sure I don't go over. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting close. Ooh, 94. That's a little teeny bit. .09 grams. So we are definitely over the minimum, but within the maximum margin. So that is 5.09 grams. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty my excess powder back into the powder container so we can get ready for our next measurement here. I'm going to tap off that excess powder and scoop it back into a light mix like so. I emptied it out. It is back in the container. And we're going to clean our materials to get ready for our next weight. I'm going to turn this off, move this out of the way so I can clean my materials here. So I'm getting another alcohol prep pad, ripping that bad boy open, and cleaning my weight tray. And we might have to use 2 for this one to make sure there's no excess left. This is a very important step to make sure all of our utensils are clean and safe. Even though this is just a simulation, this is good practice for the real deal. So we're going to pretend like this is the real deal. How does that sound? Okay, now that that is all clean, I'm going to set that aside to air dry. Now we got our spatula here. I'm going to tap off as much as the powder as I can. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to clean off my spatula here. And it's very powdery. I'm going to get a new alcohol pad. And just clean that off there. Making sure there's no excess powder. Looking good as new. I'm going to set that aside to air dry. Now I'm going to take my scale here. And we're going to take another alcohol prep pad. And we're going to just clean that scale. Good as new. We want no evidence of the previous weigh-in. Okay, looking good, looking good. Okay, we're going to give that time to air dry a little bit. While we're giving that time to air dry, I'm going to check. This is nice and dry, so I know as soon as my scale is ready, I can use that. My spatula is nice and dry as well, so we're just going to wait for that scale to dry up a little bit. Okay, we're going to turn it on while we're waiting for it to dry. It says hello, giving us a nice warm welcome. It's saying 0. Let's go ahead and perform the tar method, setting our weight on there. And pressing that T. It says 0, so it can get the weight of the waiting boat so that it will not be added into our final calculations. I'm going to take that off and then put it back on and see what it says. Let's see if it says 0. It says 0, right on the money. Okay, I'm just going to move this a little bit so we can see. All right, the next measurement that we are going to be performing is 14 grams. So we're going to do 14 grams now. And we are, let's see our calculations. Our maximum is 15.4 grams and our minimum is 12.6 grams. So we're going to try to stay within that margin, but let's get as close to 14 grams as possible. So I'm just going to start popping that on there. Starting strong. Touching that on there. We're up to 5. Let's see if we can jump real big, real high. There we go. Once we start getting closer, I'm going to go slower, adding a smaller amount. Okay, we're at 10, 11. We're getting close, y'all. We are almost there. Okay, approaching 12. Approaching 13. All right, we are at 13. Let's start making little tiny baby steps here. We don't want to miss our stop. Okay, Okay, halfway there. All right, we are approaching. We are past the minimum. We are approaching our goal weight. Let's see if we can hit it right on the money. Right on the money, 14 grams. Oh, 13.99. It psyched me out. Let's see. I can add that on there. Now I'm just being over ambitious. 14 grams, there we go. So we are now at 14 grams, right on the dot. That makes me very happy. So I'm going to return my powder to the stock bottle here. I'm going to let y'all see me this time doing this. And I just return this back to its proper place. Trying to get all the excess powder that I can back into the stock container. I'm just going to empty that in there, right there, like this, like so. I'm going to give it a nice little gentle tap here. I think we got all that we could out of there. Maybe a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. Okay. I think we got all that we could out of there. So what I'm going to do is, before I start cleaning my materials, I'm going to go ahead and put that top back on. Seal that back on, ready for our next use. I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my scale. So I'm going to turn it off. It's been very good to us, but it's time to say goodnight. I'm going to open up my prep pad here, my alcohol prep pad, and just will wipe her down. There we go. And I'm going to put her aside to air dry here. All right, now I'm going to clean my spatula off. Here, making sure all that powder's off. Cleaning it. Okay. Now we're going to set that aside to air dry. Open another alcohol prep pad specifically for my girl weight tray. She's a little extra special. She needs a little extra wipe down, so we're just going to give her a wipe down. But gently, she's fragile. I'm very heavy-handed, so I'm trying to do my best here. I'm just going to wipe her down. Okay. Make sure we get those corners. We don't want to have any excess left over. How's she looking? Looking pretty clean to me. We're going to put her aside to let her air dry. And that is the end of this lab. Thanks for watching.